Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Catherine from DryerDays Art Studio. Thanks so much for being here today. We're going to be working on this beautiful Miami Vice resin tray. A while back, I had these custom tray molds made. They're really big. They're roughly 15 by 11 inches in size. They are custom. This is based on my design, so you can only get them at DryerDays Art Studio. And I have been so busy, I have not been doing a whole lot to promote the mold. So I decided to create this Miami Vice tray to bring you this gorgeous mold. You could use it to make a tray like this. This could be an art piece. You could make this as like a centerpiece of a larger geode art piece. And so I just love it. It's nice and thick and deep. And so I'm going to show you how I made this beauty. I showed you there I'm using some holographic gold glitter from my store. Everything's going to be from DryerDays Art Studio unless specifically mentioned, and everything will be linked in the description below so you guys can find all the great stuff that I use in case you want to try it for yourself. So I've mixed some of that holographic gold glitter with just some Elmer's glue and taking a brush here and just following around the outer rim of the mold here. So you can see how nice and deep this mold is. Some of the larger trays that you see like this aren't as deep. And I wanted to make sure this was nice and deep so we'd have a nice thick tray or art piece. So I'm just going to follow around and do this around the entire mold. Making sure to get it nice and thick application so that it's beautifully opaque here. Now I'm going to work on getting my gems and my texture where I want them here. I am using some clear plastic diamond gems. I had some other bigger clear gems that I used that I spray painted gold, and we're also using some blue fire glass. So these are not going to be available at DryerDays Art Studio, but I will link where I got these in particular. And as you can see to the left there, just some more products that I'm going to be using in here. We're going to use the blue color cream, the black color cream. Obviously, we've used the holographic gold already, and I'm going to use some deep gold shimmer in this as well, which is kind of on its side there in the top right corner. And I have some champagne gold and some antique lace out too, just in case I want some extra different highlights. All right, moving on into the center here, I'm using some of the quartz chunks from DryerDays Art Studio. Don't have a whole lot of these left in the store. I wanted the center to be more clear and actually a little bit see-through, so that's why I'm opting to use more of the clear pieces in the center here. And some of these are from Michael's base filler here, the more clear. The actual quartz ones are a little bit more white. And again, just gonna kind of make these in the shape that I want in the center. Now I'm using a little bit more of a silver clear fire glass in the center to give us some sparkle and shine. And once I have all that where I want it, I'm just going to come in with a clear layer of resin and try to cover everything as best as I can. Really getting along those sides and those edges. I should mention as well too that the edge that I did with the holographic gold glue mixture was 100% dry before I came in with my resin. So that was totally dried. I waited about a day before I came in with the resin here. Gently hitting with some heat and then using my gloved hand to move that resin around and get the entire surface of the mold covered. I share this in almost every video. I try my best to share it in every single video, and I share it in the listings of all the molds, but please do not use an open flame with your molds. That's why you'll always see me use a heat gun on low heat. If you are mixing your resin properly and you are in a temperature controlled room with your resin, you shouldn't have many bubbles to begin with. And if you use an open flame with silicone, it can burn it and melt it, and then it will cure to your resin and will tear your resin when you go to demold it. It might not happen every time, you might get lucky, but I've had it ruin my molds, and I just opt now to put that out there of just don't use a torch with it if you can help it. I am going to be using the black color cream in this, which is sold out in my store right now, but I do also have black matte mica pigment, which you need to mix with a little bit of rubbing alcohol before you add it to resin, just to break it down a little. I also have black pearl, which is a beautiful pearlescent black. I am going to be getting more of the black color cream in stock. I'm going through a little bit of a transition right now with my workspace, and so that will be coming soon. Just hold tight. You can see here my blue got a little bit hard in here. If you guys do have your creams that get a little bit stiff, just put the jar in a warm bowl of water. I usually warm up the water for 2 to 3 minutes in the microwave to get it nice and hot, not boiling. Put the jar in the water with the lid on, let it sit for about 30 to 40 minutes. Take it out, try to stir. You may have to do that a couple of times, but there are ways to loosen up your pigments if they get a little hard. They are subject to temperature changes, and when we ship these, they go in airplanes, which are very cold in the cargo area. So just bear that in mind, but you can loosen these up. All right, so now we do have a super dark blue, almost black. I'm getting a little hair out of the resin there. Yeah, so obviously you only need a teeny bit of that black. It goes a long way, but I love the beautiful dark blue that this created. Following along the shape of the mold here. I wanted each of my sections of colors to be pretty thick because I knew I was going to outline them in gold. So I wanted them to be pretty bold sections. All right, so now we have a beautiful base here. I have filled in that dark, dark blue all the way to the edges of the gems and the edges of the mold. I'm going to spritz with some rubbing alcohol here to help get out any micro bubbles. And while this resin is still nice and tacky, I'm going to come in with my other colors. I'm going to use more of the blue. And I'm also going to use some of the Brilliance pigment up there towards the upper right. I opted to switch the deep gold shimmer out for the Brilliance because I thought the Brilliance would give me a much warmer hue and a brighter hue too, which it does. Okay, so coming in with the blue first. Sorry you can see my face in there. It's so cringe. I really, I hate this, but this is the only footage I have of this, so there I am. Oh God, it's like a mirror. It's not flattering. It's like the worst angle, so yeah. I wanted each of these sections to be kind of bold in their own right. I knew I was going to outline each with gold, so I wanted them to be pretty thick, able to kind of stand out on their own, and so I will keep sort of adding onto each section as I go here. And now I'm coming in with the Brilliance mica pigment. So stunningly beautiful, very fine, so sparkly, it's almost like glitter. It's just really a magnificent pigment. Okay, so that has cured for about 2 days, and my mold is only about halfway through full, and you can see that we've really kind of lost the blue and the Brilliance gold here. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm sorry, I'm on a different table, obviously, and my lighting is not as great, so I apologize for that, but I'm going to use the Brilliance again and sort of follow with the same shape that I had in there. And instead of using the blue, I'm going to use sky blue to go back over that blue section, and then we're just going to use clear, and you'll see how this whole thing fills in. I kind of like doing 2 layers. I don't do it all the time, but what I like about doing a second layer is that you can really look at where the piece went and decide visually what you want to change, or if you just want to keep it the same, just do a flood coat or maybe add some paint marker lines. But I, let this cure. I looked at it. I really lost a lot of the color in there. I really wanted those colors to be bolder and have more distinct sections to them. So I'm going to use, like I said, I am using sky blue with a little bit of deep blue because I wanted to keep it kind of a dark blue. But the sky blue also has such awesome brilliance in it. And so that's what we're going to use next. Now clear resin to fill in the rest. Also really making sure we're getting on top of all of those gems and everything up in the corners. The clear is going to help push these colors, blend them together, and also help us fill out the rest of the mold. And now it demolds beautifully. Reusable, sturdy, beautiful. You can see I already did gold lines around the sections, and here I'm just sanding the edges a little bit. I already did the gold outline of the sections because I wasn't sure how it was going to look, and I wanted to do it off camera. And I was actually really happy with how it looked. So now I'm going to take the same gold marker and I'm going to go around the edges, the inside edge here of the mold where that lip is. And I'm just cleaning off dust that accumulated from sanding the edges. The edges were a little sharp from that gold glue mixture drying on the sides. But we have a really nice lip on the edge going here. So I'm just going to follow along that with my gold marker. And you can see by adding that line, I mean, how it's just making the piece come alive. It's just so beautiful. I'm going to follow around the outside edge of these gems with that gold line. Not doing it on the outside sides because we have the beautiful holographic gold edging right now. You can't see it yet, but that is along the sides and it's gorgeous. And so we're only going to go on the top portion of the sides with the marker. And here it is all done. Look at how beautiful and sparkly this is. I love that Brilliance pigment. Here are the edges with that holographic gold and glue mixture. And you can see how thick the tray is. I'm so happy that I went in and I added more pigmented resin to really expand that blue section with the deep blue and the sky pigment and the Brilliance. And I just think this is so gorgeous. That outside line really finished this piece off. I hope you guys loved this video and found it useful. Come follow me on TikTok and Instagram at DryerDays. All of the products used to make this beautiful piece, Miami Vice, will be listed in the video's description. And until next time, everybody, keep on pouring.